You're a useless wife.
Before things get complicated, get rid of your wife.
As soon as I became bedridden, Eric and my mother-in-law's attitudes changed drastically. Fearing their assets would be taken away, the two who had left the house returned without any remorse and started causing a ruckus. When I confronted them with reality, "My name is Monica, and I'm 30 years old. After dating Eric for 5 years, he proposed, and we got married. We lived with my in-laws, and initially, things were like this.
Let's buy a house when we have children."
We had that conversation when we first got married. Now, it's been 2 years, and we still live with our extended family. Unfortunately, we haven't been blessed with children. Eric, my mother-in-law, father-in-law, and brother-in-law, all under one roof. People around us were genuinely concerned. My parents lived far away, reachable only by plane, and they couldn't physically help me. But Eric was kind to me, and my relationship with my mother-in-law was good. I felt genuinely happy. Then, one day, I had an accident and broke my bones. I couldn't move on my own, so I ended up in the hospital. Initially, Eric and my mother-in-law visited me every day, expressing concern. But now, it's down to once a week. Still, I appreciated their visits. However, the day after the doctor warned me about potential lasting effects.
Oh. You can't do any chores, but the medical bills keep piling up. You're a useless wife.
If there are lingering effects, having children would be even more impossible.
Yeah, maybe. Honestly, I'm relieved we don't have kids now.
More importantly, if she's bedridden forever, am I supposed to do all the housework and caregiving? I won't stand for that. Why did you even marry her?
To make her do housework and caregiving, of course. If she hadn't had the accident, she'd continue as our housekeeper. She disappointed me.
Before things get complicated, just get rid of that woman somewhere.
I get it. I'll get a divorce quickly.
And there they were, having a conversation in my hospital room, thinking I was asleep. For them, I was nothing more than a housekeeper and caregiver. Since then, Eric and my mother-in-law have become openly cold toward me.
Eric hardly visits, right? He's probably looking for a new woman. If only you had children, he wouldn't leave.
Eric had stopped visiting, even just once a week. My mother-in-law seemed to drop by only to make snide remarks out of boredom. Towels and laundry were taken care of by my brother-in-law, who also checked if I needed anything. He went above and beyond to assist me. Almost every day, he visited me during my long hospital stay, even taking me out to the outdoor area in a wheelchair for fresh air. There were times during rehabilitation when I felt exhausted and wanted to give up, but I credit my brother-in-law for getting me through it. So far, my condition hasn't worsened, and rehabilitation has been going well, but the lingering effects remain uncertain. When I shared this with Eric and my mother-in-law.
What? Seriously?
See? I told you. We should have gotten rid of her sooner.
The two of them argued about me. My brother-in-law intervened.
What are you both saying? Monica has done everything for the house and our father. Isn't this treatment too harsh?
The truth is, for the entire 5 years I've been with Eric, I've been caring for my father-in-law. When Eric and I first started dating.
Since you're getting married anyway, why not live together?
Exactly. Cohabitation saves money, and we can save up during that time. Let's get married once things settle down.
When I hesitated.
It's fine. We have plenty of rooms, and we won't intrude on your privacy. No need for rent either. What do you think? Do you want to marry Eric?
Given that kind of question, What else could I say but yes? Eric then made a request.
In return, Monica, while you work from home, please keep an eye on Dad, who needs care during the 4 to 5 hours when Mom isn't around. My younger brother is also here, so the two of you can cooperate and manage.
My brother-in-law also worked from home. So, together, we took care of my father-in-law and managed household tasks. My father-in-law and brother-in-law had a great relationship. My father-in-law had a hobby of collecting furniture, and he even had a separate house just for that purpose. My brother-in-law and I enjoyed listening to stories about his hobby. My father-in-law adored my brother-in-law, who cared for him. Later, my father-in-law's health declined, and after 5 years of caregiving, he passed away. Afterward, Eric proposed.
Thank you for taking care of Dad all this time. Let's continue together. Will you marry me?
Despite all my efforts in housework and caregiving, now that I can't move, Eric and my mother-in-law treat me as if I'm useless. I couldn't help but feel angry. If you're going to divorce me, at least settle things properly.
Fine. I don't want to deal with any trouble. I'll give you this house, and let's divorce without any property division.
I wondered if he would really do that, but my father-in-law had left an inheritance, and it was divided among my mother-in-law, Eric, and Guy. The amount of the inheritance was about $300,000 per person. I was told to do the paperwork, and it was hard to do it with Guy.
No way! I can't give up the house.
If we divide the property, I'll lose half of my savings besides the inheritance. This house is just a waste of space in the countryside. It's no problem to give it away. It's worth at most $150,000. I'll have to pay a lot of fees when I sell it, so it's cheaper than losing $800,000 of my savings.
Is that so? Well, if Eric says so, I can't help it. But what if we get sued later? And what if the neighbors gossip about us if we leave Monica behind?
They argued about what to do with me.
Then I'll take her.
Guy interrupted Eric and his mother's conversation and said that.
Why do you have to take her?
Oh, you have a crush on Monica, don't you? I've always had a feeling. You can have her if you want. She's useless now anyway.
Don't say give you back the house and Monica later, okay?
Of course. Don't you dare ask me for money later. And besides, she's a defective product, no returns.
Eric and Guy signed a document and had a lawyer officially change the name of the land.
I'll give you money from my savings, so you can marry a younger and healthier beauty than Monica, and build a better house than this one.
Yeah, sounds good. I signed the divorce papers, so you just have to file them.
They said they would stay at a hotel for a while and left the hospital room. Guy and I just watched them go in silence. For now, I had to file the divorce papers. I had Guy submit the signed divorce papers for me, and a few days later, Eric and I became complete strangers. Eric and my former mother-in-law packed their bags and left the house a week later. It was strange that Guy, who was Eric's brother, kept coming to see me. You don't have to come to see me anymore. We're strangers now that I divorced Eric. You don't have to worry about me now that I'm not your sister-in-law. When I told him that.
No, I'm doing this because I want to. And besides, it's not true that I got along with you because you were my brother's wife. We did the caregiving and the housework together. We talked more than my brother in these 7 years. Aren't we friends?
Guy said with a kind smile. I could only say thank you and express my gratitude. A month later, I was discharged from the hospital. I had to go to the hospital for rehabilitation, but I felt relieved to be back home. I wonder if those two will never come back. I'm worried they'll come back and make me work for them.
If they come back, I'll chase them away. I can't forgive them for treating Monica so badly. And besides, they have no right to come back to this house.
I couldn't move as usual, so Guy did most of the housework. Fortunately, I was able to return to work as a freelancer, and I think I was able to help financially. Thanks to the twice-weekly rehabilitation, I didn't suffer any after effects, and I recovered smoothly. A year later, I was able to live as usual, and I did the housework with Guy. We matched our days off and went on trips, and we got along better than ever. I hoped that these peaceful days would continue, but then something happened suddenly. At night, while Guy and I were eating dinner, there was a loud knocking on the door and the intercom rang repeatedly. Surprised, I answered the intercom and saw a person on the monitor. It was Eric.
Hey! Open up!
Thinking it would bother the neighbors, I opened the front door, and Eric barged in without any hesitation.
What do you want?
Huh? I just came back home. Why do I have to be treated like this?
This is not your home anymore. Tell us what you came for and leave quickly.
What are you talking about? I'm going to live here again from today. Aw, I'm hungry. Hey, Monica, give me some food.
Eric ordered me.
Hey! Cut it out. What are you here for?
Well, actually, I spent all my money, and I have almost nothing left. Mom will be here soon, so leave the door unlocked.
When I kept silent.
Huh? You healed your injury, huh? Well, good for you. Then let's get back together. You must have been miserable without me, right?
Eric, who still misunderstood that I liked him, acted familiarly with me. I felt nauseous at his audacity. Stop it. I divorced you. I don't care about you at all.
Don't get cocky. You've been living off my money all this time, and you're nothing but a useless person who can only do housework. Just shut up and do what I say.
Eric yelled at me, and then the door opened, and my former mother-in-law came in.
You left the door unlocked. How careless. Oh. What's going on?
She was defying me, so I was teaching her a lesson. She's become thick-skinned in the year we were gone.
Eric and my former mother-in-law started to relax in the house as if it was normal.
Stop it. This is not your house. I'll call the police.
Yeah, about that, this house was originally under Dad's name, right? That means Mom is also an heir, so the contract with me is invalid, right?
He said something unreasonable. You said you would give us the house. If you invalidate the contract, the property division is also invalid. Pay me half of your savings, $400,000.
Fine, but I don't have any. Didn't I tell you? I spent it all. I quit my job, and I spent it on alcohol, gambling, investing, anything. I have almost nothing left.
I was stunned by Eric's words. I couldn't believe he had spent such a large amount of money in just 1 year.
And I also borrowed money from a consumer finance company. About $300,000, I guess. Can you pay for it?
At first, I thought Eric was lying, but this confirmed it was true. I can't lend you that much money.
I'm not asking you to lend it. I'm telling you to pay it.
We don't have any money to give you. I'll call the police.
Guy called the phone and reported it to the police.
You've become fearless this year. You're just trying to act cool in front of Monica.
Eric started to rampage in the house, breaking the furniture that was my father-in-law's keepsake. My former mother-in-law also laughed and destroyed the furniture. How could you do such a terrible thing? That was the closet that your father cherished.
Shut up.
Eric and my former mother-in-law wouldn't stop. About 10 minutes later, we explained the situation to the police who arrived.
This is awful. Let's talk at the police station.
Huh? What's wrong with breaking things in my own house?
That's right. We're just throwing away things we don't need. What's wrong with that?
When the police were unsure what to do, Guy spoke up.
This house was never theirs to begin with. This house belongs to Monica.
Huh? What are you talking about?
It's true, actually. I received a will from your father through a lawyer. It's no wonder you don't know. You gave me what I told you to, and left the paperwork to your brother Guy and me.
Then, this house was yours from the start.
When I told them that, Eric and my former mother-in-law were dumbfounded.
So that means these are not your belongings, right?
Wait! But I'm her ex-husband, you know. We're like family, so you'll forgive me, right?
Don't make me laugh. We're strangers as soon as you're an ex-husband. I know you were in touch with another woman before our divorce was finalized, and you treated me like a maid instead of a family member.
No, that's not true. That was, just going along with what Mom said. She ordered me to do this.
Eric! What are you saying? You failed the business you started. Things didn't work out with the young girl. You went around drinking and gambling, and you got into debt. That's not my fault.
According to my former mother-in-law, Eric was trying to marry another young woman after the divorce. At the same time, he quit his job and started his own business, but it failed in just 1 month. Eric was dumped by the woman who didn't want a jobless man with money, and he became reckless, spending money and saying he had plenty of it. He said he had almost no money, but it was true, he had almost nothing. That's the result of your own actions.
Everything that happened was Eric's fault. So please forgive me at least.
They had looked down on me all this time, but now they blamed each other and begged me for forgiveness. It was ridiculous. No, I won't forgive either of you, and this is not something from the past, right? You were ordering me around until a while ago. It's illegal to stay here when I told you to leave, and the furniture your father collected is mine, so please pay me back.
That's...
Fine. I'll pay for it. Just spare me from the police. You don't want me to go to jail, do you?
No, I don't care at all. And, actually, we're married. I was married to Guy.
What? You switched to another man in less than a year? And my brother, no less.
What are you talking about? You switched before the divorce, didn't you? I wouldn't give you Monica back even when you asked you to. Stop clinging to the past.
Eric was speechless.
I don't care anymore. I'll pay for anything, whether it's compensation or whatever. How much?
Well, roughly $100,000, I guess.
What?
Huh?
The furniture that my father-in-law collected was made by famous designers, and they were all high-quality items. Eric and my former mother-in-law didn't know anything about that, and they thought they were just junk. You have to pay for what you broke, right? I don't know if you can get the same ones, but please pay me properly. Eric and my former mother-in-law lamented that they couldn't afford to pay for them. For now, the two of them were taken away by the police for trespassing and property damage. Of course, I didn't forgive them, and I sued them. Later, Eric and my former mother-in-law tried to get help from Guy, but...
I'm ashamed to even share blood with you.
He rejected them. Eric and my former mother-in-law have it coming. And then, there was something I had kept hidden. It was that my father-in-law told me to have sold the house and to do whatever I wanted with the money, and Eric had said the house was worth $150,000, but it was actually worth about $600,000. It was a good location, so it might sell for more, but for now, Guy and I decided to stay in the house that my father-in-law left us, and we didn't plan to sell it. We were going to sell this land and build a new house someday. We were also worried about having children, so we went to the gynecologist for a checkup after we got married, and there was no problem with us. Now that the troublemakers are gone, Guy and I are living happily together.
How did you like this story? Please subscribe to our channel. See you in the next video.